Define yourself. Will you impact the future? Will you lead the pack? Will you engage the world? Will you find the cure? Will you be the hope? So, will you? Come see how St. John students are changing the world every day. Visit us today.
Welcome back, everybody, to EGFC for the final match of the night. My name is Keela Miles, joined by Soy, and we are wrapping up the night with St. John's University taking on the University of Hawaii. Both teams that have been brought up a couple times tonight. Notably, University of Hawaii's Darth Wampa was one of the only losses that Kitsuji has taken.
Yeah, and St. John's, we talked about them in the past about how they feel like they are on the cusp of a championship, but they are off to a bit of a rough start. You know, haven't gotten those big wins that we saw them get last year. They actually, I should say, both of these teams are at 1-2, and this is another kind of pivotal game for both of these teams. Even last season, these were teams that were, just bubble playoff teams. Hawaii was the very last team to sneak into the playoffs, and St. John's, while they were about one step above that, it feels like these two are very close.
Yeah, it does definitely, it's hard to tell until they actually go up against each other, because when you go up against teams you stomp, teams you don't, it can be different. I think we might be starting out with Darth Wampa, though, from the University of Hawaii? Maybe? Yeah, so they definitely want to get their lead first. Darth Wampa was very clean with not just, zoning, but conversions. When they hit hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And this is one of the players for St. John's on the other side of Thicko that really is one of the emphasis players. We mostly saw him go Pikachu throughout most of the season. So to see him on Hero is a little bit of a mix-up, and I'm curious to see what his Hero brings to the table.
Yeah, it certainly is. Boomerang post hitbox. Oh, I love that fastball up air right there, but not quite reacting quick enough with that. You're going to avoid getting hit by the Kaboom, though. That's a big victory in my book.
Yeah, that was kind of an odd interaction, too, because the wind box pulls him in, but he's got just enough time. Love the bomb drop, though, securing that first stock.
Thicko at the moment. Using that bomb against them. Darth Wampa able to get back on the ledge, though, but parrying the last hit of back air. And right as they selected Kaboom 2, interrupting them, Darth Wampa keeping Thicko on their toes. And they haven't really gotten any of their signature combos yet either.
Bounce being online, though, is going to make life a whole lot more difficult for Darth Wampa. But quickly gets in, and look at the damage he can do. Maybe Bounce won't make that much of a difference.
Like I said, that's Darth Wampa's strength. It always has been. They are a very shockingly combo-heavy Link who zones also. It's just flipping a switch for them. So they have Bounce online, sure. They've got Kaboom online, sure. They're one of the best characters in the game with Bounce and Kaboom online. But you're not always going to have that.
Yeah, and now the pressure on Thicko to really make a play here. Down 92%. And Link has a lot of surprisingly good kill power, as now Thicko's really sitting at kill percent, has to find a way to try and even things back up for himself.
Forward tilt right there will help close things out. Psych up, though, is going to make it so, well, any percent is more or less kill percent. They want these smash attacks so bad, but eventually they'll have to settle for the forward tilt and an oomph for their troubles. 102%. Not going to connect with that bomb, and that is a hard hit but not able to combo off of that down air at such a high percent.
Yeah, and right now I really like the pace to the match. Well, I was gonna say I like the pace that Darth Wampa was taking to the match, just kind of reacting, but ends up dying to that forward air, and so now a chance here for Thitko.
Yeah, a chance, maybe nothing more. See how they play around it. Oh, getting caught by the up B way down there. That was a scary situation. But Darth Wampa weathers the storm and spins to win their way out of it. All of the slots, they are going to be victorious. Darth Wampa didn't have an easy time with that, not by any stretch of the word, but definitely was able to maintain solid control for the majority of the time over where Thitko wanted to be.
Yeah, absolutely. It didn't feel like Darth Wampa, like you said, it wasn't a stomp by any means, but I think Darth Wampa, for the most part, actually had a lot of control over the pace of that matchup. It felt like Thitko was kind of, his openings were kind of stray hits and just slight over extensions by Darth Wampa, because Link is another one of those characters that I think thrives in the long game setups, right? Things like bomb, boomerang, the arrow, right? All those projectiles, they take a little bit of they take some time for it to really, pressure to its full effect. And I feel like Thitko really couldn't, figure out a clean way around all three of those.
Yeah,
but when
not
he
at
did,
all.
he was able to capitalize.
Yeah. And again, the one thing I'm looking for... Okay. What?
I guess,
Is
yeah.
Thitko playing on random Pikachu, Hero, and Jigglypuff? Now, this is a matchup I can, give a lot of insight to. And they're looking for these temp chases off of the pounds, but why? Counter hitting out of that forward air.
Sometimes you just need a different change of pace. I guess I really don't have a good explanation for the character change.
Anyway, they get the tech chase situation, but not quite able to get the jab lock, which does true combo into Sing. So, anytime you see a jab lock come out, you know it's big damage. And I love using the grab armor right there to get around that. Maybe they just wanted more air mobility to weave in and out of the projectile, labyrinth that is being set up, and wisely knowing that you can use the late hit dash tech to get around that up B. Thitko with an early lead on the puff. Okay.
Going to lose it though to that forward smash, and that's just a slight misspace though, and I think that's just kind of knowledge gained for Thitko.
And all this damage off of a trip from the Nair right there that they're able to convert into quite a bit. But once you get out and you can't get back in, that's when it starts to hurt. And that up air is terrifying. The lingering hitbox, but didn't know you have to drop shield, you have to take that Nair. Thitko struggling, but they finally, third time's the charm. I was watching that happen and sympathy. But they're able to eventually get the falling up air rest. Following the
I was
DI.
terrified it wasn't going to happen in time. I thought it was...
Platform actually Thitko! They wanted the up air because they knew rest on its own wouldn't kill, but it wasn't enough. Maybe if they did an instant double jump down air, they might have been able to cover it, but either way, that Jigglypuff's air dodge to ledge, probably the best in the game. Gets back there scot-free, and now they're able to continue keeping the pressure up.
I was in shock. I've never seen that up B kind of like fall through the platform the way it did after that the rest. But either way, that sequence is long gone, and Darth Wampa is still searching for a way to tie this up and give himself a shot here. But I mean, I think that aerial mobility really has been the key. It doesn't have the bomb. He doesn't have his jump. That's just going to be it. A 2-stock to reply.
Now, I don't hate the swap to Jigglypuff. Obviously, I don't. The swap to Jigglypuff when you're down on your secondary is a classic Kilo Miles move, but I don't know what their main is. Is this a secondary? Like, the Puff was clean, and they had the knowledge. They clearly play this character, but like, Link is not a particularly easy matchup, but it gives you control over how you approach. It gives you control over how you interact with the projectiles. And the interactions are not good with how you interact with the projectiles, don't get me wrong. But having that agency really does trip up some of the more active Link players, and some of the more inactive ones, just depending on how you play it. So I feel like adding a new dimension to how fast you can move in the air really did kind of make it harder for Darth Wampa, and I wouldn't be surprised to see the Puff sticking it out unless they are legitimately playing on random, because this is the third character I've seen from them. It would not surprise me.
Yeah, as we get into game number 3 here,
Okay.
It's gotta be random, man. This is Darth Wampa switching it up. Whoops.
Jigglypuff to Yoshi's story? Okay, anyways, they're able to eventually get that, but forward air tech chases, they have not actually been hitting these techs off of the soft forward airs, but the Wii Fit trainer does have some serious stuff she can do, but the back air's not connecting either.
Yeah, no, not quite yet. But I mean, Darth Wampa, taking way too long to get back to stage. Thicko says, "What are you doing out there?"
Gentlemen, how are we doing in the blast zone today? As just charging that down smash, baiting an opportunity, but the sudden jolt of movement forward is enough for Thitko to get the punish on it. That time they're hanging on the ledge. Too long, too little, too late. Thitko, Darth Wampa some amazing awareness to be able to get that for a second time. And serving up Jigglypuff literally like the volleyball that she is. But it's like a beach volleyball. You can't really get too much mileage, the wind really messes with it, and you leave it out in the sun for too long, it's gonna deflate. As that, it's a solid chunk of damage, but that time they get the parry on it. You fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you're not. Get bent.
So Darth Wampa with a little bit of a lead here, making a big lead, taking that stock off the board with the forward tilt. That forward tilt is surprisingly good. Oh my goodness, though. The follow-ups from Thicko are insane off stage. What is going on here?
Not quite following where the DI is with the grab. They wanted it really badly. Thicko playing around the spacing here. Tech chase on the platform. They don't quite pull the trigger on the sting fast enough, though. Another tech chase. No. And that greed almost cost you the game. Thicko, though, able to keep things going for now. I don't know what happens here. Yeah, Jigglypuff's lunge, it's not like Kirby's. It doesn't go quite far enough. But that was a scary situation. The pullback made me question everything.
Yeah, I was spooked. But great dash tech. That's gonna be it.
Covering the ledge. The ledge grab wasn't on time, and Thicko, with the Jigglypuff counter pick, beats Darth Wampa's Link, beats their Wii Fit. It makes me very happy that I get to use my obscure knowledge for once.
What a set to start. I mean, I don't have a good explanation for all the swaps, but sometimes you just need a change of scenery, you know? And it worked out in Thicko's favor there.
Yeah, I am trying to wrap my head around the going over to Wii Fit. I can't claim to know a ton about Wii Fit, but it does feel like to me that between the very, very high priority Nair that can often just straight up beat up, like the only move that Jigglypuff has that consistently beats out Nair is Pound. And, well, you're not going to really bother with that. Like, I'm not saying it was a bad choice. They obviously got some really good damage to begin with, and especially on Yoshi's getting some early kills, but the recovery is definitely a lot more exploitable and Jigglypuff loves that. I mean, if you watch Riptide, you saw Base Mage go out and, I think, double 3-stock the best Wii Fit in the world, based solely on how good Jigglypuff is at exploiting that recovery, which we saw on those fair trains.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I don't mind the swap off of Link necessarily. Like you said, that airspeed for Jigglypuff is just, Link can't really keep up with it. Link can do a lot of damage and get early kills on Puff, but the speed, I think, really made the difference. And so I feel like that was why he swapped off of it. But even still, the swap to Wii Fit, again, even the swap off of Hero to Jigglypuff was kind of a curveball that we really didn't see. Listen, Thicko exclusively has gone Pikachu for his I think entire career in the EGF, and just randomly this week he decides, you know what, hero today, and then the swap to Jigglypuff. It's keeps us on our toes here.
I mean, again, I don't want to make this all about me, but it's like, those are my two characters. It's honestly a little disorientating seeing that. But listen, Thicko, I'm glad you're joining the Keel Miles camp. You got me in your fan club now. But either way, University of Hawaii starting out on a deficit again with that player who I was expecting to come in and get massive value, because Darth Wampa is the one who beat Katsuji before, yeah.
No, absolutely. This is one of those players that for Hawaii you kind of looked at and said, this is where he gets the majority of the points. I mean, even this year, Darth Wampa is 2-1. His only loss this season before this set against Thicko was to Bobby Time. And that's, Bobby Time is one of the most consistent players in this league, that the Pokemon trainer from University of DePaul. So for him to fall here in such a kind of, a curveball of a set, it's a very strange kind of outlier match.
Yeah, I can definitely see you being tripped up for certain. Puff comes at you in a weird way, from an angle no other character does. But that can be said about a lot of different characters, so I'm not going to harp on that for too long. Either way, though, the fact remains that University of Hawaii lost a very powerful asset. They've got some other ones. They were bragging to me about how they have some players who are ranked in Hawaii now joining their team, which is very good, offline. But is it enough to battle back against St. John's? We'll have to see. As just checking in now, who is coming in next? You see that, Soy?
It looks like we've locked in. Yeah, we've got our next set locked in. It's gonna be Mr. Saturn for the side of St. John's and Gray for the side of Hawaii.
Gray? All right. I believe he's the captain for University of Hawaii. So I think they just want to battle this back. I think they just want to be like, enough is enough. We want to be on an even game, because going into that game 3, you do not want to be playing with the mindset of, okay, now everyone has to have an amazing performance. No, you want to keep it even, make it so the few outlier losses like we saw with Darth Wampa don't really matter as much.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is kind of one of those tests of depth for the roster. I mean, obviously, the captain coming in here should be one of the heavy hitters. Gray, he's had his moments. He's a Pokemon trainer player who's 1-1 this year, and we've seen those kind of flashes of brilliance. And going up against, another kind of depth player for St. John's and Mr. Saturn, who's opting for Sora this week. This is a pivotal point for these rosters.
As you can see, Gray's movement, maneuvering around that maze of projectiles right there. Trying to pressure a water gun, but he's going to get frozen instead. But now you get an opportunity to deal some damage of your own once you get past all the hitboxes.
Ooh, like the quick follow-ups there from Mr. Saturn, but not able to land that Thunder. Does still keep Gray to the corner here, but this is Gray's first opening. He's getting a lot of mileage off of it.
We have there is definitive proof that the down air can be beat. Does not have as much priority as Keith, maybe. As beating it out with the up air is going to give Gray the early stock, and now they're happy to slow the pace of the game down. Maybe don't entirely understand how to maneuver through these projectiles yet, but they don't have to.
I'm still in shock from the hitbox of that forward smash that Gray landed to combo into the up air, but still Gray with the lead doesn't have any extra credit on Mr. Saturn yet, and trying to play very carefully. But Mr. Saturn doing a great job of keeping him to the corner right now.
Certainly, as they're just beating out these Razor Leafs with the projectiles of their own, leaning very heavily on this magic. A lot more than the other stories we've seen today, who really like landing with nairs, trying to land up airs for the kill. They're okay to play the range game, but the issue is Gray is too.
Yeah, and right now, Gray can kind of afford to play this range game too, because Sora doesn't quite have the range to match that Razor Leaf right now, but a way in, can't quite get a follow-up off of that side B, and now Gray goes in, and that should be a little bit of an overextension on his part, so Mr. Saturn cleaning up that first stock.
And Gray going back over to the Ivysaur, which is a little bit odd to me, as it felt like they didn't really get much more than chip damage, and if chip damage is what you want, be my guest, my friend, but I felt like some of the follow-up and the movement around the projectiles that Squirtle had were a little bit more beneficial.
Yeah, I think you're right, but I think the other thing too is that if this is kind of going to be the pace of the matchup, right? This try and outspace the magic, he should in theory win it with the length that Razor Leaf gets, but that's a big catch with the up B, so Gray now with a huge lead in terms of percentage.
Yeah. Snapping the ledge as quick as you please. And making sure these Razor Leaves cover the ground. I mean, it is autumn up here in the east, so we'll do that. Ooh! Getting the tech chase right there with the up air. Right? Keeping the pace slow. They're starting to get a hang of the rhythm. Because I feel like the big opening is when Freeze is out. It just doesn't have the range as the others.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you're right. And on top of that, too, I think Gray's also kind of getting the timing of Thunder and the spacing of Thunder down as well. Because not only does the Razor Leaf beat the range of it, but now he's realizing, hey, if I can get over top of that cloud in time, there's a chance I can get in on this character and do some damage. But this is a very important stock for both of these players. Not only for Gray if he can take this game, but if Mr. Saturn finds a way to take the stock, he's mitigated a lot of the damage that Gray can do.
Yes. Oh! Immediate right there. You see the opportunity, you take it. Razor Leaf connects, you're up there with the explosion. And that burst of power is going to give the early lead over to Gray. University of Hawaii starting to even things out. Can they do it again, though? I'm curious if the Sora is going to stick, because it did feel a little bit like a mini-boss, I will say. As, it very set patterns in terms of how they're doing, and you don't want to be a puzzle your opponent just figures out and then beats every time. You want to be constantly changing, fluid, keeping them on your toes, because while they're thinking, they can make some mistakes. I feel like St. John's... I don't think they should stick to the Sora, personally, but I can understand why they might.
Yeah, I think that the it feels like the Sora has some practice to it, but it feels like there's only one game plan, right? It feels like, okay, I'm going to cycle through the magic, keep them at a distance, and then I'll find my kill move when they overextend. But it's like you said, once that game plan deteriorated, and once Gray kind of started to figure it out, there wasn't really a plan B. Now, and you had plenty of time, too, to kind of figure it out, but it was just time and time again, just cycling through and no change, no adaptation to it. So we'll have to see. Mr. Saturn, before Sora, was typically going the links between normal Link and young Link, which I feel like Hawaii has a lot of experience against with a player like Darth Wampa. So he might opt to stick with Sora here. But no, he is going to opt over to that Link. So we'll have to see how it does here against Gray.
I do definitely agree that now that I know that the Lynx is what they're going with, it can be a little dicey, but not every Link plays the same. Link, honestly, one of the most versatile characters in the game when it comes to different playstyles. So, but one thing that you can't change, once you get the hit, it is still the same character you're comboing. And 42% is 42%.
Absolutely, and Gray, his Squirtle taking full advantage of it, but Mr. Saturn's Link here able to even things up at least for the moment, but I feel like this is really where the game is going to kind of be won and lost. When Ivysaur is on the field, these are two bigger bodies that can kind of beat up on each other, and that Razor Leaf is just oppressive, and Link's ranged attacks just can't keep up with the speed. That forward smash nearly killing.
Yeah, the lurch forward right there is enough, but you're actually able to cover your approach to ledge by using that bomb you left strategically there. Ooh. You're also able to just get them off stage as well. No stock taken yet as Mr. Saturn slowly claws their way back into this.
Good bomb underneath that platform too while Gray was still throwing out those Razor Leafs, but that's, again, the type of matchup they're going to play because they both got projectiles, but Ivysaur's come out a little bit faster, so it's up to Mr. Saturn to really get things in position before Gray sets up camp.
As uppy off ledge, again, this is a perfectly even game, and one thing I'm looking for, wasn't looking for that. Up here, going to finish off the stock. Now they really want this ledge trap. Maybe try to use that forward smash, but no. Instead, just playing it safe, using the bomb. But what I am looking for, like I said, Mr. Saturn loves to use the returning boomerang to combo. I've seen them do it a bunch of times. I'm hoping they'll be able to get that online here, because it's always a sight to see. Get the frame right there with that as well. Is Flare-Blitz magnetic today?
I don't have a good answer for it, but yeah, it seems to be the key to get back to stage. And Gray will fall to that forward tilt, though. A lot of knockback on that move, so good stuff to Mr. Saturn to get himself on the board. But again, it feels like this is Gray. It feels like he's got the full momentum here.
Yeah, as again, I feel like that is that matchup experience you mentioned. Mr. Saturn trying to stay elusive, trying to stay hard to find, but difficult. And the more you try and move around like that, the more you open yourself up to surprise burst options like that up B. Even grounded, it does a lot.
That was a huge up B for Mr. Saturn to connect on. If he didn't hit that up B, Gray was going to get the spike and seal away that stock, or Mr. Saturn wouldn't have had the drift to get back to stage. And the fact that the stocks are even right now is massive. But Mr. Saturn, there's so much to do here. He's at 150%.
Yeah, and bombs coming in as well. This is where we saw Gray struggle a little bit earlier. Mr. Saturn is hard to track down for the kill move. But when you're using the platforms as much as Mr. Saturn is, eventually the up air is gonna catch it. Hypothetically. At least
And
that's
Mr.
what
Saturn-
Gray does.
Yeah, no, that was really good. Mr. Saturn has to kind of pick and choose the times he has to go in because these Razor Leafs are just putting so much pressure on Mr. Saturn.
Goes for the spike, but they get caught by the up B. The spacing just isn't quite there. Trying to read a jump. They want the option so bad. And finally, with the landing dare, they're able to beat it out. 72%. Gray wants to rack up as much as they can, as fast as they can, if the kills are going to be as slow coming.
Yeah, that was a big stock for Gray to take. And Mr. Saturn now a couple of times when it's close shield pressure, Mr. Saturn has just opted to hold shield, wait for Gray to kind of leave the pressure point situation, and then follow up afterward. And that's something that I think Gray is starting to catch on to now.
Yeah. Ooh. Being caught by that bomb, though. Right off stage. That nair. Ooh. Yeah. Dragging you straight up past ledge, past safety, past home. And finishing you off. Mr. Saturn does bring it to last stock, but Gray very easily in position to tie this up here.
I really liked that up B to take the stock because that up B, it kind of sucks you in once you get the first hit of it anywhere on you. And so to reverse it to ensure that Gray was going to be sent towards the blast zone and not back towards stage was a really smart play by Mr. Saturn.
100% Sword is now pushing with the bomb. Mr. Saturn. Gray understands that Link can throw out as much pressure as he wants, but if they keep getting beat out by Razor Leaf, it doesn't matter. Eventually, they're going to crack. And when they crack, you grab them, you throw them away. That's what Gray did right there, 104%. They're just extending their lead right now. Razor Leaf's making it so hard for them to really get any good approach. You can
It's just
see Gray,
so much work for him.
like throwing out that down air like that. It shows how much it's getting to them.
Gotta play so carefully here if you're Mr. Saturn. He's gotta find, if he's gonna win this game, he has to go in on Gray, and it's just been so difficult, but this is the opening he needs. Big dash attack.
Yeah, I mean, there is one move you can use. Oh, it's a timeout. I wasn't even looking at the timer, but now with nothing left, yeah, Gray wins by default. I was wondering why Gray was slowing down the pace of the game so much. I wasn't even paying attention. Oh. As Gray does take it home in the timeout scenario.
Yeah, I'm in shock. I think that's the first timeout that we've ever seen in the EGF. I don't think we've ever had something go to time like that, and that's just good recognition by Gray, right? To recognize, hey, I don't have to make a play here. I have the lead. Let me just play for the win and not allow Mr. Saturn to make a play, because again, when you can outrange your opponent, when Razor Leaf was doing so much, Mr. Saturn, the only way he was going to find a way back into that match was if he found a combo, if he got into the face of Ivysaur, and he couldn't. That Razor Leaf just snuffed out all of Link's approach options.
Yeah, again, sometimes you've just got to have faith in the priority of your moves. To my knowledge, Link's Nair beats out almost every projectile in the game except for, like, Wolf's Laser. I didn't see them at least try to challenge the Razor Leaf with that, because it's a great approach tool. Additionally, it's not as good, I'll be honest. You can walk at the Razor Leaf, and the shield will block it. Of course, if you're varying the heights of the Razor Leaf, it can occasionally slip through, but these are options that I didn't even see them try. And maybe it's matchup experience where they know that that'll never work. but I don't know if it'll ever work. So I would have liked to see them try it at least, instead of sticking to the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I mean, once you saw that boomerang wasn't working, arrows weren't getting through, and the bomb was getting snuffed out, you were just kind of left without options, right? But you know at some point that you have to approach. So at least the attempt to get through on something is worth a shot. And I think really the only reason that comes down to time there, other than the lack of adaptation, is it just kind of slips his mind saying, hey, I'll play for the long game, and then not realizing that there is a timer in this format.
Yeah. Yeah. I there's not much more to say about that. So while we are waiting, getting the whole timeout situation sorted, let's take a look at where we have come from today. Take a look at the bracket for a moment. Try and get our footing as we wrap up the night with the close game between St. John's and Hawaii. What wasn't a close game, though, was game one between Iona College and Fairfield University. Iona came out swinging. And even though Fairfield did take it to last hit, last stock a lot of the times, 26-2. That's all I need to say.
Yeah, and that was just the first match of the day. Iona came out hot. Then we got to see the defending champs of Mississippi State go up against UConn. And it was, the defending champs taking it home by a score of 20-5. But it kind of goes with the theme of that the defending champs are not untouchable. UConn was able to get some points on the board, but the Bulldogs still remain undefeated at the end of the day.
Yeah, as then it was kind of close. I mean, University of Colorado versus University of George Washington was an interesting one. But University of Colorado, their strategy is unmatched in how they just love to get a lead, play with it. Well, a bit like that timeout situation. They know exactly how many points they need to win, and they play for it constantly. And George Washington University, I don't think they were ready for that that level of dedication to playing for the points.
Yeah, it's interesting too, right? Because when you have, all of these players on your roster to only pick on a certain 5 to go in. I mean, Colorado, it feels like we really are starting to see now, I don't want to say the same 5, but kind of a key 4 or 5 go in, and then maybe one counter pick. It's very intriguing to see. Whereas with George Washington and Mississippi State, you're seeing 7, 8 players through 2 or 3 weeks. So Colorado really relying on the key 5 or so to go in, and even here in this matchup of St. John's versus Hawaii, it feels like through these first couple of weeks, the key players are, just 1 or 2 guys. You look at St. John's, you go, okay, Mr. L and Jay Grunt are kind of the 2 heavy point getters of this team. And you look at Hawaii and you go, Darth Wampa. This is a guy that we're going to depend upon for points. But the question is, that depth of the roster, can they step up or not? And that's what we're kind of seeing here in this match is, can you build upon those stars? Can they share their knowledge and help these other players take that step to the next level?
And coming in next, we do actually have some information. It's going to be Aloma Mola coming in, and that could be a little bit of a tricky one. I mean, Aloma Mola has had some very strong performances in the past. Notably, going up against Katsuji, they did a good job, but I don't think they actually won that one out. Or wait, no. I'm actually mistaken there. But either way, Aloma Mola, nothing to be scoffed at.
Now, Aloma Mola is he's the Joker, one of the Jokers for St. John's, 1-1 on the season. But he's a player that I think St. John's puts a lot of emphasis on. He went 6-3 last season, And so if he can cut out those 3 losses and and really rise up, because it's one thing to win your set, but it's another thing to win your sets by a large margin of points. And so if he can consistently find these W's rather than take some of these occasional losses, it will do wonders for St. John's.
Yeah, and I feel like if you remember against who was it? It was University of Colorado. That's who I was thinking of. They didn't go against Katsuji. They went up against AIV, who we actually saw earlier. And what they did, it's the same thing they did at George Washington University. Aloma Mola was the clutch factor at the end to come in and try and take on AIV, get the double 2 stock in order to secure their win. And AIV did manage to close it out. AIV did manage to get that 1 point on the board that really hurt them. And even though Aloma Mola won the set, AIV won the war. However, the fact that AIV was A, able to win the set, and B, was the one they put their faith in, says to me that St. John's is taking Hawaii very seriously.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and you also have to remember, too, that these guys, I believe, or I should say, St. John's is in a highly compact Eastern Conference, and Hawaii is one of these teams that they're in the Central Division, I believe, which is just stacked. It's got Mississippi State, it's got University of DePaul in there. So for Hawaii to keep pace with some of these teams to give themselves a shot later on in the season, these games against St. John's and company, these out of conference matchups, they are vital to to Hawaii's organization. They have to find a way to keep pace with teams like this. So a pivotal third set here coming up for Hawaii.
Yeah, you are not over the mountain whatsoever. You've got Mr. L, you have Aloma Mola, who we just spent all that time hyping up, and I don't know if this is for sure who they're sending in fourth. EJJ is nothing to scuff at either, whereas I feel like 2 of the biggest heavy hitters for the side of University of Hawaii are out of the way. The one player I am curious if they're going to be around is Tempest. Tempest is one of their new pickups, I think. And I think Tempest is the one who is ranked in Hawaii on the state level, which is really important. So I'm hoping Tempest can arrive at just the last moment, riding over the hill, saving the team. But if not, again, I feel like Hawaii has a lot of their heavy hitters out of the way. Not to scoff at Tia, at Fruit Basket, at Not Christian, but Gray and Darth Wampa are gone, and they are the ones with the huge wins so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Tia getting locked in here for set number 3 for Hawaii, rocking the Wii Fit trainer. We saw Tia, I believe, way back in week 1, and unfortunately lost their set, but they were only one of the few players to lose in that week 1, so we'll see what they can do here against Aloma Mola, opting for Cloud this week.
Yeah. Ooh, that was some nice shield pressure right there. Some very quick consecutive hits. But either way, Aloma Mola, that's not going to stop them from eating a bunch of damage right out the gate. Tia is there with just a lot of stray hits, a lot of strings, but that's enough. I like firing that Salute the Sun early. It forces some respect, but Aloma Mola did one better in the projectile game. But the consistency is there for Tia.
Absolutely, and Tia doing a good job of keeping Aloma Mola to the corner as well and pressuring off stage, right? Cloud's recovery, not the greatest if you don't have limit on deck. And the fact that Aloma Mola is at such a high percent, he has to play so carefully now because he doesn't have limit ready.
And challenging that down air completely safe. They were doing A-okay in that up air. Up B gonna reset the situation for the time being. Close to kill, but they're gonna need a read in order to do it.
had potentially a read on that up smash, but didn't get the strong hitbox of it, so Tia will be able to survive for now. And any percent Tia gets is going to be massive this set.
As sent off. Oh! Hitting them back with that is actually going to almost finish them off. 150 now. Ledge trapped against the Cloud. You're caught by the back air, and that will be the stock. Alomomola starting to catch on a little more, but Tia, if they're able to keep the pressure up, getting this one game could be massive.
That was huge too, but look at the follow-ups here from Alomomola, and the aggressive option to land actually gets Tia out of trouble for now, but that grab puts Tia to the corner.
And now Alomomola baiting an option in by charging the limit. Now you got the ledge trap online, but cross slash beaten out again. Tia's, I don't think it's spacing, but the angle at which they approach has been impeccable for their juggle scenarios, their landing scenarios, everything. Their positioning is incredible.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, even you saw they landed the spike hitbox of that forward air when Alomomola was going to challenge them. And it's weird options like that seem to be working, but they will fall prey to that forward air. And so Tia now on their last stock.
Yeah, is starting to get zoned out. Being on your last stock can get to you, especially when they get that initial opener like that 60% already. Will that be the kill though? No, not quite yet.
Ooh, great up tilt, interrupting that upbeat, but not going to be able to take the stock. Alomomola surviving at 174. That's a huge...
Whoa!
Oh my goodness, that soccer ball should I say? Oh boy, that forward air cleans up the stock, and Alomomola with a statement in game one.
Yeah, I could hear the sigh of relief breathe out of Tia's mouth. But halfway out, it and all the rest of the air left their body when they got sucker punched by that forward air, finishing them off. A nice start from Tia and really good keeping it even, but in the end, they just couldn't keep up with the pace Alomomola was setting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for all the praise that we gave Tia for finding ways in on Alomomola, it was Alomomola who was able to get, I think, the most off of his openings. Once he found something like an up tilt, or once he caught the juggle, Tia could not find a way back to stage cleanly.
Not at all. And again, that is one of the struggles of Wii Fit. You have some options off stage, more than most people. But sometimes having options isn't as good as just having a nice, clean recovery. Like, we saw the options of the projectiles, salute the sun, deep breathing, the volleyball, or soccer ball rather, off stage. Half the time, it would just get hit right back to them or get nothing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's something to look for as we get into game number 2, is can Tia really, like you said, can Tia find a way back to stage, or find a way to capitalize on getting Alomomola off stage? Because Cloud surviving to 170%, that's wild. That's just something that, if you look at the pro scene, it just shouldn't happen, right? Anytime a character gets to like above 150, you just kind of shake your head and go, man, how are they still alive?
Yeah, as I think they're going to be running it back to Smashville. I mean, it was a close game for a lot of it. I can definitely see why Tia would want to, but Alomomola, I mean, they're perfectly happy to come back. Right at the gate. It's going to be keeping the percentages even until... Ooh! Didn't block quite that second hit. Back air is going to keep Alomomola off stage, but it never keeps them out for long. They're always right back in for the fight.
Yeah, and Alomomola not afraid to box necessarily with Tia, but right now kind of losing out on a lot of these trades.
Yeah, throw up. Want to get the juggle scenario going. Not quite enough to nair out a shield. No, not this time. Getting over the salute the sun, but challenging the soccer ball is going to put you in too much hit lag. that you're not able to get there, but using the increased aerial drift after that up B to zoom straight to center stage.
I was gonna say, Tia had not really had a moment to try and get deep breathing off, and that's a huge amount of power that Wii Fit has, and finally got the opportunity to use it there and was immediately able to find the back air and secure the stock off of it. So now it's up to Alola Momola to answer back air, doing a good job of it. How does Tia find a way down? Good job getting around that last area.
Well, finally the back air will finish the stock. Momola being chased on the platform, but they're able to reset the situation and even at the percents pretty handedly. And they're beating out a lot of these options with the sword. I mean, that's what you gotta do. Up air, the chains, 97%. And it's still going? No. Instead, back air to send them off stage.
Yeah, Tia really struggling here. I mean, just one opening for Alola Momola, and you can tell all the percent that they get, so much mileage. That cross slash a little, or I'm thinking of the name, the neutral B, not going to be able to connect, but that back air will, and that will seal up stock number 2 for Tia, and now Tia at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah. Back air to shield, gonna be punished. Momola, as we've seen before, takes the advantage, runs away with it. Off stage though. Didn't have a jump, but oh, I love that! Coming back down, delaying that. They're able to get the surprise option, hold on to their stock, and build up even more percent. 81, and they're still bringing it on. Enough though. 81%, 161. It's frankly ridiculous. The soft hit of that. Oh yeah, finally. I was watching that happen. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, great option coverage there from Tia, right? Just pressuring with the soccer ball. Finally, the charge neutral B connects. But now Tia feels like they're kind of working on borrowed time here. Cloud's got a lot of kill power in their kit, and Alola Momola only at 30%.
Sent off stage. Looking for the option, the roll read, that's not it. But that forward tilt on shield, that ain't safe either. Landing right into the salute, the sun is going to give a bit of damage over. Very feasible right now, but in the end, sometimes you let that momentum carry you. And sometimes it carries you all the way to the win. Sometimes it takes you straight into the blast zone as you're so focused on getting the combo that as soon as you whiff that one hit, it's all over.
Yeah, just that one overextension was what Alola Momola needed to clean up that set, and it was a decent adaptation by Tia there to, keep it close, but in the end, I feel like just Alola Momola was a lot cleaner on his openings.
Yeah. A lot of the extensions that Alola Momola got, especially with those up airs, I did like in the beginning how well Tia was facing things. I think the word I used was positioning, and I like that a lot better because Tia was right up in their face, let's be real, but they came in at very particular angles to hit Cloud out of his down air, for example. Who challenges Cloud down air? Except for Rosalina. It's really impressive how they were managing to do that. But then Alola Momola's movement got trickier. It just in general felt harder to get that ultra specific spacing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Alola Momola was able to really take advantage. So they get the set that makes 3 down and 2 to go, and St. John's with the 4-point lead. So, Hawaii, this isn't unobtainable by any means, but it does mean that there's a lot of pressure on this next player to at least keep it close and hopefully for the Rainbow Warriors find a way to win and put the pressure on the last set. But St. John's, like we said, it feels like the heavy hitters are just starting to come out.
Yeah, definitely the heavy hitters starting to come out, as Soy was saying. But I feel like reserving Mr. L is the play here. Just in case. You don't know exactly what Hawaii is bringing to the table, so why risk it, you know? I mean, not that EJJ is a lackluster player. Let's keep it real here, folks. But Mr. L, definitely, you want to be saving them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Because Mr. L, you got to remember, he in his EGF career is currently undefeated. He's dropped games, but he has not dropped sets. Actually, no, we were talking about Katsuji.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Whoops, I completely...
Happened in front of your eyes. Nah, you're fine. You're fine.
Anyway,
it happens we get.
But yeah, no. I should say that aside from the Katsuji game, that was the first real big upset. But the point is, Mr. L has been money. He has been gold for St. John's, and so to keep him in the back pocket, I feel like I completely agree with you. Is the play?
Yeah. We actually do get a bit of crucial information here coming in at the end. Mr. L has been subbed out. Instead, we've got J Grunt coming in. And we did see J Grunt 2 weeks ago, I believe, with a fairly good performance. I'm trying to remember exactly who they were up against. But that is a wrench in your plans. I think the rest of St. John's can carry it out. But the fact that X Factor isn't there is a sigh of relief for the University of Hawaii.
Yeah, and it also shows how much trust St. John's has in the depth of their roster, right? To put in J Grunt, who also, I should say, has been money for this roster. He, I believe, is, if he's not on a perfect record, he's darn close. And EJJ, although I think his record is a little bit closer to even, he's been going up against some of the higher-ups of the EGF and keeping it close. So, Hawaii, you breathe that sigh of relief, but, I mean, it's back to work in this set.
Back to work indeed, as I feel like, again, you just play the game. I feel like if you try to get stylish, you try and go for these 3 stocks, you're inviting hubris upon yourself. So just play to win the sets. You've got the lead. Make sure it doesn't run away from you. And I feel like just hold on, tried and true, slow and steady. However you want to phrase it. Don't get too flashy. Just win.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the scoreboard. It's 4 points. That's the minimum amount of points. So just anything St. John's can put on the board here is it just pushes their lead that much farther. And so I completely agree with you. Playing a little bit safer, playing for your stock, that's the way to kind of close out a set like this. Because remember, Hawaii needs this win a lot more for how difficult their conference is. And I'm not saying St. John's doesn't need the win, but it's a pivotal point for both of these teams to be able to secure this set. And when you're playing with a lead, the last thing you want to do is get cocky.
Of course. As we're going to be taking a look at their stage bans now. Let's see. Yeah. Getting rid of FD and PS2 right off the bat. That's an interesting one. I think we're going to go to Town and City, which, again, some people may say FD light, but either way, it is kind of an interesting play. A lot of room to play around with on that stage, Soy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, seeing a PS2 ban kind of makes me think that they're, trying to see who, what stage does this type of player favor. And so as we get into, set number 4, we'll have to see, where the emphasis goes.
Fruit Basket sticking to the Pokemon trainer. Well, it looks like EJJ on that wolf again. All right. Not a bad matchup in the slightest, but the thing is, Wolf can get a little blown up by the Squirtle if he can get in. So I like the immediate, So there's the strong punishes I was talking about. However, now Wolf can, again, play their own game. Make Squirtle sweat.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we'll have to see, too, because EJJ, I believe he went Diddy Kong the first time he was on stream, and this Wolf, I think it feels a lot more practiced. And right now you can tell it's put on a lot of pressure on the Fruit Basket.
Yeah. A lot of dashbacks, a lot of creativity, but now you've got to work around these massive, fast hitboxes coming out from Charizard, and the work just isn't there, Soy.
Yeah, that was shockingly good. The spacing a little bit off for EJJ, but Fruit Basket will take it, and now has to find a way out of the corner here against Wolf. Not the easiest thing in the world, but good job just kind of staying poised with all those jumps.
Yeah, as snapping right to ledge, Fruit Basket. Well aware of the lead they have, EJJ doesn't want to let it run away. Landing there, though, opens them up to more opportunity to punish. Frank's Flame Breath, not going to catch them that time. They're able to actually interrupt that side B with the tail. That was a risky move right there. I'm always scared of trading with that side B.
Very risky. That Nair almost killing, and at 190, you got to feel like Fruit Basket is working on borrowed time here, but possibly an opening. No, that's a big grab for EJJ, and not even that will take the stock.
Looking for the forward tilt, not going to connect it, as Fruit Basket will unable to let go. Unwilling. The will is there. As the soft nair does it. I mean, 221%, but still.
That was...
JJ.
Survivability is always massive in these sets, but now you get these low percent combos for Fruit Basket, but he's the one getting comboed. EJJ finding a way to answer back here.
Yeah, as they're able to try to maneuver around these Razor Leafs. But ever since that initial opening where Fruit Basket was zoned out by the laser, they have had no time for that kind of nonsense. They have chase on the platform, but it's sliding away. You got to get off soon. Landing with the forward air. Fruit Basket is able to hold onto their stock. Will they be able to get the same mileage they did before? Let's see.
Doesn't get the strong hit of back air. That's huge for Fruit Basket. Again, able to survive these high percents, even surviving the up smash too, avoiding those up airs, and he finds a way back to stage.
Yes. Fruit Basket continuously just plays around these short hops, knowing that, you know, all you need is a couple stray hits and you're still getting money for your stock. Another 10% off of the Flame Breath as well.
I like the use of that neutral B. We saw Fruit Basket throw it out earlier, and it was to no avail, but it snuffs out a lot of the short hops EJJ has been doing.
Yeah, especially trying to get off ledge, it covers everything. Finally, getting the down throw off stage. Oh, they go down to challenge it, but there's super armor on that one, EJJ. Fruit Basket, well aware of that, and they are going to snatch back those points. Looking perhaps to make this a very even last game. 10-8. This is the closest nail biter we've gotten yet, Soy.
Yeah, this is very, very close. And EJJ, I feel like it was a lot of right ideas but wrong execution, right? He had a lot of openings where he was able to get Fruit Basket up to high percents, but I feel like Wolf is not a character that should struggle to kill, and he could not find a way to kill Charizard in the last couple of moments of that match. So I feel a little bit of desperation towards the end of that set, but it's still very doable for EJJ.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see a character switch come out. I don't know how Diddy Kong does against Pokemon Trainer, but I imagine it's close to even because of how Pokemon Trainer functions. That's what keeps them a top tier. I talked about consistency. It's because they have very few losing matchups if they're struggling, They just switched to something that isn't struggling. It's 3 different character archetypes in one.
Yeah. And credit where credit's due, Fruit Basket did a fantastic job surviving. 200+% is, I mean, between Tia and Fruit Basket, it feels like you're fighting, I don't know, a brick wall in Hawaii. Just how do you find a way to knock out the stocks of this team?
Do I hear 3? 3 characters that EJJ has gone on stream. We'll see how the Rob does here. As, well, Squirtle's obviously going to have a bit of a playground, but oh my gosh. You got caught by the closest hitbox of down tilt. And even more. Okay. Alright. Now it's starting to get excessive, but listen, if it's a good tool, you might as well use it.
Yeah, I mean, it's racked up, not quite 80%, but pretty close. So he landed the 1 laser, but still, just the work being done by that down tilt. And I don't mind this switch to Rob either. I feel like Rob has about the same amount of kill power, but a little bit more accessibility to just kind of throw it out and see what lands.
Yeah. I'm definitely with you there, so as... Yeah, they're gonna be called out. Oh, catching them in the switch. And just keeping pressure up with the down tilts. EJJ landing with that nair, but reverse hitbox right there. Not quite getting what you were hoping for. But they're okay to just play this lead. I feel like Rob's range game is actually a tiny bit better than Wolf's.
Yeah, the gyro does a lot more work, I think, for EJJ. And the laser, the angles that you can toss that laser out make it a lot more difficult. That upper is actually going to kill, too. Ooh, Fruit Basket in a lot of trouble now.
That was a reflection of perfection right there. I love how they're using this down tilt. At low percents, get as much mileage as you can from it. At high percents, grabbing to death. They have every use of the down tilt mapped out, memorized.
I mean, this is looking real rough for Fruit Basket. He's got to find a way to stop the bleeding here, and I don't know if he's got it in him. Look at the pressure from EJJ. Wanted the up tilt. That could have been the stock. That backhand, the last second hitbox of it, getting that stock off of EJJ.
Landing with an air. The catch, landing with the up tilt. Man, they are just really making them sweat. And catching the out of shield option with the full recharge mutually as well. Alright, I see it. At this point, more or less, most things will kill from Rob. Again, a blessing and a curse, but I feel good about EJJ going into this. Really just want to, get that bury, and they wait for the mash out. They understand that's what they're going for. This time, Fruit Basket survives a little bit closer to the ground than last time, and on Charizard, even at 150. They actually cancel out the neutral B right there, and technically still doable right here. They wait out the invulnerability. They're able to survive.
Ooh, possibly an opening. Oh, but this should be... No, he's going to survive the up throw. 187 on Fruit Basket.
With the platform right there, there's that up throw gets ever more dangerous. The bury into the up air, instant that time. You know they go for the fast mash. It's what they do. And so they're able to tie it up 1-1. Get another 2 points, kind of undoing their loss from before. As St. John's now attempts to, keep this lead alive, Soy, and I feel like that might have been the character to do it with. I can't imagine we'll see any switch-offs, as I think there were just some things that, excuse me. There were a couple things that Fruit Basket was just doing wrong, especially towards the beginning. Not that down tilt is free to get out of, but you can definitely get out of it a little bit faster with a correct reaction. I'm looking forward to that, as without that early lead, maybe the Rob doesn't get as much mileage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, by the time of that first stock was done, I think EJJ only had sub 40% on him ish. So yeah, those down tilts just did wonders for him, and that's just a maintaining of spacing, right? And I think that's part of the reason why EJJ made the switch, is because while Wolf is very good at what he does, Rob, I think, does what EJJ wants to do a little bit more consistently.
Yeah, as we're going into the next stage now. It's going to be Smashville, so taking away some of that space that Rob was using to keep you at an arm's distance, or a down tilt distance at the very least. Oh, okay, the down tilt reversal. Saying, all right, my turn. EJJ going to benefit a lot more than that. And understanding what you can go for at what percent. 102 already. They go for the option coverage there. Not going to give it to them, but the parry into up smash, out of shield, that's some nice stuff. As EJJ feels no need to close the distance either. Fruit Basket, you can come to me.
This is the kind of pivotal point of the game for EJJ. Fruit Basket's ability to survive on this Charizard has been the tail of this set. And so if he can find a way to close out this stock sooner rather than later, it will do wonders for him down the line.
As Gyro helps you get off ledge a little easier. And we're able to get the Bury as well. Is that going to kill? On Smashville, yes, it will. Taking right on out of there. Now, Ivysaur. Maybe trying to play Rob at their own game. I love using this platform, but again, down tilts right there. Not quite safe on hit, but Fruit Basket really isn't able to find the options to get out of it. But there's a nice punish on that Flare Blitz. Finally! Sorry, is that the first Flare Blitz punish we've seen all stream?
Yeah, first one of the day. EJJ trying to reverse the momentum here. This could be the stock too. Gets the follow-up off the up tilt, and there it is. That's a huge stock for EJJ to take. Fruit Basket not able to survive these high percents that he could before.
Yeah, it's getting really rough for them. I think they're able to... Oh! Anytime I see that side B up stage, I get a little scared, but it wasn't quite the positioning to drag them farther off. Able to start to even up the stocks, but only one left for Fruit Basket. After that win on Wolf, it was looking good for them, but EJJ really brought it back in a big way towards the end here. They look so fast on every character they play, and the speed on Rob is so much more beneficial.
Really is. Fruit Basket finding a little bit of an opening here, but that's an overextension. This is dangerous. SIB's going to push him off stage again. Has to dodge the laser. Has to dodge the gyro. Has one switch left, and he is able to grab the ledge.
Yeah, as now going in towards the end here, Fruit Basket knows every hit could be their last. They're able to DI out to avoid that up air, but you're still on ledge again. Going for a very committal option, that dash grab, but it's not enough, as then, there it is, the back air towards the end is enough to finish it off, and EJJ, definitely scared a little bit, will eventually turn things around for their team.
Yeah, bit of a scare there at the start, the way that first match went, but great adaptation. The character swap to Rob, I mean, again, I feel like EJJ, it was about, finding more consistent ways to get kills and apply pressure, and Wolf can do that. But I think the format, the way that EJJ wanted to do it, it feels like Rob fit the bill a lot more.
Yeah, and especially at the lower percents, they had very strong options at every percent, whereas Wolf, it felt like you were fishing for a couple more stray hits. I mean, the stray hits added up when they got the forward air into up air, but not always. Not always. With Rob, it felt a lot more consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. And that win, I mean, that's huge for EJJ in terms of momentum for him this season, but it's also huge for this set in particular, as now a 7-point game, you're asking for nearly a perfect game from this last Hawaii player just to tie it up. I mean, that's a tough task for anyone to have a nearly perfect game, but knowing that you've still got a player like Jay Grunt left on St. John's, who, by the way, was perfect last season and so far this season is undefeated. It's looking rough for the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, very rough indeed. As who is going up against them here? I would have to assume that it's going to be, Not Christian. Yeah, I mean, Not Christian definitely had some decent performances, but I think they're one of the new players, am I right?
They were on the team last year, but they were one of the players that I think were kind of streaky. It was some weeks where they would have these big pop-off victories in 3 stocks, but there were other weeks where they would just get shut down going up against, some of the hierarchy players like a Yosefu or a S. Rice from William and Mary from last year. So it's not out of the question because, like we said, Not Christian has these kind of pop-off moments. But against Jay Grunt, this is one of those kind of question mark, like, can you step up and meet his level?
Yeah, that is the question here, and you don't have to just meet him at his level. You need to exceed it. You need to exceed it by a lot. Because again, you need a nearly perfect game, a 3-stock and a 2-stock, if you have any hope. Or if you drop a game on last hit, last stock, then you need a double 3-stock. It seems unfeasible. It seems impossible. But impossible things have happened before, so they really have.
Yeah, and Not Christian, my notes on him from last year say that he's riding out the Game & Watch as his character. To my knowledge, he has not swapped off that. And Game & Watch versus Greninja for Jay Grunt. Again, not impossible, but the probability says that it'd be like I don't even know, getting a horse bet right, or a bet on a horse race right. It's just hard to call.
Mm-hmm. And it does look like, for the last game, where else could you start but PS2? You've gotta. And seeing as we have not had PS2 start for a while, I don't mind it at all. I mean, PS2 has never been the go-to stage in EGF, or if it hasn't been, I've noticed. But honestly, at every local I've been to, everyone's been gentlemening to Hollow Bastion over and over. So I was happy to be home. Welcome home to PS2.
After today, where it's been frequently banned out of the first couple of rounds, to start here feels fitting too. And I think this is a stage that it is very, very neutral between the two. But I also feel like it's kind of it sets the tone, saying, hey, listen, we're gonna keep things even here, and it's gonna put the pressure on Not Christian to step up here. This is even stage. You don't get a counter pick or anything. You know what you're up against. Can you hit that next level or not?
Yeah, and we'll have to see that coming out now. Button check is being executed as we speak. Not Christian. We keep saying it because it's that important. The weight of the world on their shoulders, or at least the weight of University of Hawaii's game life. I mean, this is not the worst position you could be in against a team like St. John's, against a team that many of the top tier teams really worry about. I mean, think about our interview with University of Colorado, where they're like, we only won that because oh my gosh, I'm completely blanking on their name, but Splosion, they Erosion, that's the word I'm looking for. Thank you. Rhinesville Explosion, they came out and got a double 3 stock, and that's the only reason that they were able to really edge it out over St. John's. Otherwise, it would have been a completely even game going into the end. University of Hawaii has put themselves in a slightly worse position than that, but not completely bad. Not at all.
Yeah, and I think Hawaii. I think that leaving Not Christian for this position, I think it kind of goes to show how much faith they have in their roster, because Not Christian is not typically the anchor of this team. He is typically someone who goes in first, kind of sets the pace for the rest of the match. He's one of those starting 2 players. So to put him in here against Jay Grunt, who's opting for Incineroar, and I think I get why, right? If you're Incineroar, you think, surely I find a way to take a stock here and just at least make sure this thing gets tied at in worst case scenario. But
I am not going to go so far. But I'm not going to go so far as to say that Incineroar has a winning matchup against Game & Watch or even close. However, I feel like most characters, especially on Wi-Fi, are playing for stray hits against Game & Watch. And well, Incineroar's doing that anyway.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And on top of that, too, you get kill power like that. The strong hit of back air, cleaning up the first stock off of Not Christian. And it doesn't help, too, that Game & Watch is such a light character.
And Jay Grunt showing off that light stick sensitivity, constantly walking. It's really their main movement option right now, which I don't feel is a bad thing. Micro-positioning is very important.
Those things kind of reset back to neutral. And Jay Grunt with the stock lead. Not Christian has to find a way to approach, and I think he's, for the most part, just kind of, at least early on here, kind of swinging for the fences.
Going for the grab right there. But again, wisely not contesting many of these hitboxes. You get hit by one down smash, you roll away. You don't try and push in, because that's just an invitation for another. Or speaking of one down smash, that's a low angle right there. Yeah, not going to be able to survive that at that percent. Jay Grunt, uneven stock with Not Christian.
Big grab for Not Christian. Gets a lot of good early percent on him and make it 2. But these up Bs not able to really get a follow-up afterward.
Yeah, as in general, Jay Grunt, again, this slow patient play is the hallmark. They're not quite safe on hit, but now you're getting to the nice percent, nice juicy one, and up being out of the up B out of shield. Get a taste of your own medicine, Game & Watch. Okay. Playing into this platform, Not Christian, really trying to figure out how do you safely try and kill this cat. That's the key.
It's not easy to do, as that forward air does land to get Jay Grunt off stage, but quickly reversed on him, and now we went for the ledge trump. I actually like that idea. It would have led to another strong hit of back air from Incineroar, and that at this percent it would clean up the stock, but now Jay Grunt with stage control.
Yeah, up there, not gonna connect. As Jay Grunt, ooh, I was getting scared, but didn't go quite low enough. Jay Grunt going very high right there. He was able to get a nice clean landing on stage. Forward air 2, keeping things even. Jay Grunt started out at such a deficit on this stock, and they've managed to claw it tooth and nail back.
The turnaround there from Jay Grunt to take that stock, and that's a huge stock for him to take. And Not Christian now on his last stock. He can still find a way to turn this match around, but Jay Grunt, I think, might have just secured the tie, at least, for St. John's.
Yeah, as they're able to use that neutral B there. Staying firm. Not Christian. They're just fishing. And Game & Watch is a character that you're perfectly happy fishing with. Chef at ledge right there. Perfect trapping. Perfect angle. J-Grunt is sent off stage once again with that. 180%. At this point, the back air, the forward air, yeah, it'll all kill. Not Christian can still get a game on the board yet.
And that's really what you're looking for if you're not Christian. You want to mitigate the damage that St. John's does here. You want to get this as close as possible if you can. So if you can find a way to take this game and get some points on the board, that's exactly what you want to do.
Well, but there's the revenge for actually the first time. Not Christian has been actually fairly disciplined with how they're swinging around, not giving away that revenge too often. But even then, it's going to give that dash tag some extra oomph. And
well, I think I know what move J-Grunt wants.
Yeah, again, the slow, menacing walking, the wavelands, it all feels like an act to me. An intimidation display where not Christian, it honestly, sometimes it feels a little less optimal than dashing, but either way, it's intimidating how they're just slowly walking around and then suddenly turn the tempo and come in to destroy you. Now tech chase on platform, they missed the grab. Able to beat a ledge though. Christian, what's the option? What's the play? Playing around this platform. They don't want to perch either. He's just standing there, menacingly. That's all he's doing.
But
the wiggle, okay. This all feels, again, like a carefully calculated game plan to get in your opponent's head. And I think it's working.
I'm going, oh, that nair? Yeah, that's going to do it. I was about to mention the clock and how we got down to 30 seconds again, and I was wondering if that was the game plan, but nair does end up taking it, and J-Grunt takes game number 1, and that, well, it doesn't ice out Hawaii quite yet. Hawaii needs 2 perfect games to tie now, but that is, again, the way that game went. I feel like J-Grunt, like you saw, he's confident and he's in not Christian's head.
Yeah, that was one of the most baffling sets I think I've ever casted Soy, and I've casted a lot of sets. There's not a lot you can say. Like, it's kind of like walking is optimal a lot of the time in Smash Ultimate, but not for the reasons that J-Grunt was using it. The reason walking is optimal a lot of the time is it gives you instant access to any of your options, including dash. While in dash, you're locked out of a lot of things, but the thing that I saw from J-Grunt was more akin to Cranberry, actually, where they go really, really fast, and what? Okay. Well, getting off. I wanted to talk more about their Incineroar movement because I loved it, but instead we're going to the Samus.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen J-Grunt go. Actually, I feel like I have seen J-Grunt go Samus before in kind of just a game like this where St. John's basically has the win secured, and so I guess practicing a pocket, and why not? If he's able to take a stock, they get the win, and he's already off to a hot start.
Not Christian was flashing that bucket so much, and J-Grunt, without even firing a shot, has conditioned them to keep trying it. But oh, the jab forward smash? Like, I don't want to call everything they're doing mind games, because it is legitimately good gameplay, but it's what it feels like half the time. It's like I was saying with Cranberry. They change the tempo so rapidly that it's hard to really keep up. You play slow, you play slow, you play slow, and suddenly you're demolishing them with a dash attack.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of getting to Not Christian too, because you have such a mix-up of change of pace that it's such an instant turnaround. And I don't think Not Christian's ready for it, because as a Game & Watch, it's not like you have the same capability to do such a thing.
I mean, now trying to catch the landing, but a little too tricky with it. They avoid even the bomb damage, but that's the only victory you're afforded. The Zeret ledge is able to really ice them out, but not enough to fully end it yet. The key, though, going to be pretty hard punished with the grab.
And now Not Christian
Challenging the up
fall.
smash.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that Not Christian didn't get that up smash off, or that it didn't connect. J-Grunt's spacing on point, and now J-Grunt up 3-1 in stocks here.
Throw it. Throw it. You know you want to. Throw it. Throw it. But that was Not Christian taking a play out of J-Grunt's book, trying to bait them into an option, then running in for the punish. Very nice, but it's their game. They've been playing it longer. Instead of going into the bucket, it just snaps right onto the shield right there. And, well, Not Christian's down 3 stocks to 1. It's over. I mean, the game is over. But Not Christian, you want to at least get this 1 stock. You don't want to get 3 stock towards the end here. But with the bomb pressure at ledge, I'm not sure you can avoid it. Oh, the soft charge shot in the back dash attack. That's the confirm you needed. I haven't seen this secondary either, but I feel like it fits J-Grunt's playstyle very well, Soy. How do you feel about it?
I mean, it certainly looks practiced. That's that I can say for sure. I mean, that was a dominant game, and once again, we kind of have one of those score lines that feels a little off on how it feels like it's not quite a reflection of how close this game actually was. But credit where credit's due. J-Grunt, I mean, all over top of this matchup, and the rest of the squad really stepped up today.
Yeah, stepped up without Mr. L there and showed that they don't need that threat player, that player that the top schools all fear, in order to really get that dominant win. I mean, towards the end there, even though University of Hawaii kept it even for a lot of them, it felt like University of Hawaii would get a good opening, and then St. John's would adapt and figure it out and counterpick and counterplay, and it was kind of all over from there. St. John's did a really good job throughout, planning out how they were putting out their players and making sure the matchups stayed as even as they could, and we can ask them more about their mentality for it in just a little bit, as we're going to go to a quick break. When we return, we will have an interview with Fitco, the team captain from St. John's. Welcome back, everybody, to EGFC. We are here with Thitko, the team captain of St. John's after their win over the University of Hawaii. How you doing, Thitko?
I'm doing great after that win. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys enjoyed the games.
Oh, yeah, we did. And okay, so first off, right off the bat, game 1. What was the mentality behind the counterpick wars that were going on there? Like, we were watching it from an outsider perspective and we were baffled at the alien logic. What was going on in your head?
It was the lag. We knew we were facing Hawaii. We knew there was going to be some type of lag. So we all had to pick up a lag character to play. And I've played Puff since beginning of Smash 4. So when I switched to Puff, it was more of a, like, I know Puff like the back of my hand now. So the lag's not going to affect me.
Yeah, you can just like buffer combos. You know exactly what's going to happen.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And then for everyone else, I don't know. I'm the captain, but they make their own choices apparently.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. I mean, yeah, your set was kind of crazy, but you also were the starting player for this match. You kind of set the tone. What was I mean, you already talked about kind of your mindset. What's something that you think you need to improve upon after this week's results?
We definitely get used to playing online more. Since being back on campus, we've all been able to play each other in person. So we're all very, very used to LAN. And we've been going to like brackets here and there, like in person. So we're really used to LAN. And the only online we really do is the EGF. We just have to really get used to the EGF and figure out our combos and make our playing just overall more clean online.
Yeah, of course. And now that you're a couple weeks into it compared to last year, how do you feel being in person and practicing in person is doing for morale, not just messing up your online stuff?
Being together as a team in person has boosted our morale a lot because we've been making a lot of new friends on campus. It's the new freshmen that are coming in. A lot of them are like Ethan, for example, EJJ, he's a freshman and he's just cracked. And it's great to see all these freshmen come in that are just cracked and pad out my team, you know? Like, I was telling everyone going into the EGF that my team is stacked and I'm fully confident in any member that I send in. So for us to be able to like travel to brackets together and have our little university bracket every week, like it really like helps us connect as a team and really be a team instead of individuals, you know?
Yeah, of course. And that really does show, like, the confidence that you had in everyone did definitely show throughout this. I mean, every single player came and delivered. Like, even though you took some losses, it did not feel ever like you're like, all right, this is our fodder player. Let's get rid of them.
Yeah, never. Even our O2ers are hidden bosses.
I think you partially touched on it, but I was gonna ask, as a whole organization, as a whole group, what do you think is kind of your biggest strength as a team?
I think honestly our biggest strength is that we're all friends. So at the end of the day, like, yeah, we have EGF and sometimes things don't go the way we want them to go. But at the end of the day, we're all still laughing. We're all still having fun. We all still, even after the EGF, stay after to play friendlies with each other. And at the end of the day, we're just all friends. And I feel like that just helps our team camaraderie more because we know each other. We know how each other plays. So like if we're watching a set and we see that a certain player is playing a little different, we tell them that. We're like, yo, like you're playing different. Like you're playing nervous. Like calm down. And like just us knowing each other so well to that point just really helps us like really improve and really like not drop games if we don't have to.
Yeah, of course. And that's honestly a really good mindset to have, and I'm really hoping it pays off going later in this season. You've already done amazing, and I can't wait to see where St. John's goes from here. But for now, thank you for your time, Thitko. Appreciate you
Thank
doing
you very
this
much. Thank you very much for having us.
Of course. But with that, finish up that interview. That is it for EGFC tonight. If you liked what you saw, be sure to head down, follow the Twitch, follow the Twitter at official EGF, and also check out House of 3000, who's running all of the production at House of 3K on Twitter. Also, Keela Miles, Soy, you know us, you love us, but we're running a little late, so we'll get you all out of here. Thank you all for watching EGF tonight. Take care of yourselves, everybody.
Thank you.